This discussion is on Cyberpunk 2077. So I already uploaded my retrospective for this. I played the entire game on PC. It turned out to be a mediocre mess, and like I said, I was thinking this was going to be the game of the year for 2020, but I was saying that based off of the previews. And the game that was released was falsely advertised, and it didn't match up with the previews at all. And this is one of the most anti-consumer releases I've seen in the gaming industry, which is saying something because the gaming industry as a whole has become anti-consumer within of itself. Yeah, I'm left wondering because what happened behind the scenes. I told you like everything that had happened with this game behind the scenes, and it's a disaster. You remember some of the things I was telling you about Cyberpunk?
Yeah. I know you told me they had a lawsuit filed against them.
Well,
Sony took the game.
well they may have a lawsuit filed against them. They should.
So it's maybe.
Yeah, it's a maybe. They should for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's the investors. The investors aren't happy with the game's performance as far as the way it was released. And that's a big thing. Like you can't as a company you can't piss off your investors. No matter the business. Like you piss off your investors, that's a good way to go out of business. And it's also a good way to get yourself into some legal trouble. And as you said, which is what I told you, the Sony they straight up pulled the game off of the PlayStation Store until further notice. That's crazy to me.
It's still hilarious to me.
That's fucking.
That didn't even happen in No Man's Sky.
I don't think it did happen in No Man's Sky, but yeah, that's fucking insanity, man. Like the game is it's straight up broken on PlayStation 4. Specifically like the base PlayStation 4, not even the Pro. People have reported you can't even play this shit at all. Like it will straight up crash within minutes of you like booting the game up. And then like it graphically it looks like some fucking not even Xbox 360 level. It really does look bad with the graphics. The PC version runs for the most part. It does work, but it still struggles to load in textures, and then it still struggles with glitches too. So it's really a mess on all platforms. It's just it's actually playable on PC. Clearly, the game was developed for PC, and then they just did a lazy port to console. That's just like I said, to me that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
That's straight up unacceptable. Then you have, the video game industry as a whole has just become, like I said, just blatantly anti-consumer, from DLC to microtransactions to games being released unfinished. And Cyberpunk is far from the first game that has had that issue. Issues behind the scenes with crunch, where developers are forced to go in to a shift and work well over past their shift, and not make any overtime. Like it's just the whole industry is a fucking mess. Then you see these fucking clowns online defending these companies, man. Like defending companies like Ubisoft, defending companies like Square Enix. You won't believe some of the fucking comments that I get on my channel, man. Just fucking stupidity. I had one user go up on my channel talking about because he commented on one of my PlayStation 5 videos. I can't even remember the username. There's so many people that leave comments on my videos, but this individual, he left the comment saying that he hopes Final Fantasy 16 doesn't also ends up on PS4. I posted a response telling them that Final Fantasy 16 has been confirmed for PS5 and PC. If you want to play that game, you have to either own a gaming PC or buy a PlayStation 5. You won't be able to play it otherwise, because it will not be released on PlayStation 4. He's like, well, Square Enix is the only company that I care about these days, so that sucks for me. I'm like, Square Enix is the only fucking company that you care about? Really? Square Enix is one of the worst fucking companies in the gaming industry. You
I
know?
mean, I've done I looked into little to them, and they just released that horrible Avengers game too.
That's what I keep fucking saying. How is anyone looking forward to anything that Square Enix releases after that fucking Avengers game? Even the Final Fantasy VII remake, which was just overrated like a motherfucker, dude. Like
Mhm.
like some of the review scores for that game is just fucking ridiculous. When you actually play the fucking the game and see exactly what they did with some of the ways they butchered the fucking characters and shit. Like if you played the original, or just the combat system itself, like no fucking invincibility frames. The fucking enemies can just fucking gang up on you and just fucking do whatever the hell they want, and you can press however so many buttons on the controller all you want. If the game
Mhm.
says fuck you, you're dead. You're gonna die. It just so many poor decisions went into that game, and yet it gets like fucking 9 out of 10s, and GameSpot fucking dumbasses. One of the dumbasses at GameSpot gave it a fucking 10 out of 10. Like I said, I did a two. I thoroughly went through that fucking game. I did a damn near 2 hour review of it, and I think you watched that too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that video has like 800 some odd views. Yeah, that's one of my most liked videos on my channel, as far as my retrospectives and my reviews and all that goes. But yeah, that game was just a mess, and it's like we keep getting mediocre games like that, and people praise them the hell and back. And that's how we get games like Cyberpunk 2077. That's how we get companies that think that they can just release whatever they want and get away with it. You won't believe what I'm about to tell you, but Cyberpunk 2077 has already sold 13 million copies, even with
Jeez.
even with the refunds, and most of that came off of the pre-orders. That's why pre-order, like people will say like you should never pre-order. That's why
Mm.
these companies, they make most, like video games, they make most of their sales before release and during like the first 3 or so months of after release. After that, the sales start to decline. And so pre-orders are extremely important for these companies. And so
Mm.
it's important that they market their game properly, because if you market your game the right way, you can recoup your budget back easily before the game even comes out, which is what happened with Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's just I'm so sick and tired of this kind of trash with this industry, man. You spend all this money, investing into the hardware itself, and then the software comes out, and then the software is just nonsense because the companies behind the software don't do their fucking jobs.
Mm.
And then you have all these fucking fanboys and the stupid gaming journalists who just make it worse. And I know that's what you were telling me before. Like, gaming is something that you gave up.
Yeah.
That's something that you just had, you got sick of. I'm trying to remember the game where you were like, okay, that's it, I'm done. You know. Um,
I think it was. I can remember. I think Breath of the Wild. I think that was the last game I really, truly played. I
hmm
think there was a few I had really dipped into just for a quick second, but not. I don't think there was any other game I put into much time in as Breath of the Wild. The other games I think try to get back into, it was only for like a quick second, and I'm like, I just can't do it again.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild really, I just couldn't do it no more after that game.
So like, cause I'm not a Nintendo person. The
Mm,
only two Nintendo games that I really like grew attached to were Zelda Wind Waker and Metroid Prime, the first one.
mm, mm.
So with that said, like I'm not into like the whole Zelda and all that, but from what I know, Breath of the Wild, that's touted as being one of the best games ever, and whenever they release a Zelda game, like a big Zelda release, like everyone treats it like it's the second coming and shit. Um,
Mm.
and so, and that's what happened with Breath of the Wild. What didn't work about Breath of the Wild for you?
You know, a lot of people are just overrating it, saying it's like one of the best open world games. But to be honest, it's really not that much different than your other open world games. Like you unlock your towers, you go explore this big map. But it didn't feel as great as the previous Zelda games.
And that's probably
You
why,
know,
because it was open
yeah,
world. It didn't feel, because what you're describing, that's not Zelda.
yeah,
I've played a lot of quite a few of the Zelda games, and they're not like that at all. They're very tightly
mm,
they're tightly scripted experiences.
mm,
They're linear experiences. They're not like this big expansive world, open world type.
yeah,
That's not what the series built its name off of. But that's what's
mm,
popular these days, right? That's what people are
yeah,
into. They want the big open space and shit to roam
mm,
around in. And I just, it works for certain franchises and others it doesn't work too much.
mm.
I remember some of the criticisms from some of the naysayers who've played Breath of the Wild. They complained about things like the weapon durability. Like apparently your weapons can
Oh
break.
yeah, it was a really big pain for sure.
But besides the open world and the weapon, like the weapon breaking and all that, like, was there anything else that just kind of bothered you about that game? Or
Yeah, I mean, there's all this map to explore, but it just feels worthless and empty. Like, I don't know, there's like no mystery to the open world. I really don't have any reason to really explore. The weapon durability, I think that plays a part of it too, because I'm like, going out exploring the world, seeing, getting all this good treasure too. But it's like, what's the point of even getting all these, going to these secret locations, getting all these weapons, and they just break, or it's not it doesn't really have that the like in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. There was a lot of mystery and a lot of really creepy good characters in those games, but in Breath of the Wild, it's like NPCs and everything. They're just they're just dead and like they don't matter at all. Not like in those games. Like they like all of them were memorable in those games, but in Breath of the Wild, it's like they're just really pointless. I'm like, I just don't really have any reason to explore this open world. It's just all pointless, honestly. That's how I felt about it.
yeah, it's crazy to me. And the same thing happened with games like God of War 2018. That was a big disappointment for both of us, being
Mm.
huge fans of the previous games, and that's considered to be like one of the best fucking games that's come out this generation. And everyone, whenever anyone talks about that game, oh, if you don't like that game, you're not a real gamer, and all this other bullshit that's out there. And then we have The Last of Us Part Two. I don't understand how they fucked that one up. I really don't. Like, they took some, like, Naughty Dog took some very serious risks with that, which you
Mm.
don't do, because it's at this point it's a sequel, it's an established franchise, people are already familiar with the characters. It's like you can't just do whatever the fuck you want. And that won Game of the Year, not because it's the best game that came out this year, but because the video game industry, especially when it comes to gaming journalists, have become political. It's become politicized. It's not
Mm.
about good games anymore. It's about who has an agenda, who has the most to say, and it shouldn't be that. Either
Mm.
a game is good or it's not good. Either a game is
Yeah.
fun or it's not fun, and that's really what it should be about. But it's not about that anymore.
Mm.
And so, like, for 2021, like, I really need 2021 to be a good year. I'm not even asking for a great year. I just need it to be a good year, because I think there's maybe 6 or 7 games that I'm interested in next year. And then maybe 2 or 3 of them I'm just buying really out of curiosity, not because Not because I'm actually genuinely interested in them. You know, my
There's
top.
one game you put on your channel. It's an Xbox exclusive. That game looked pretty interesting. Forgot what it was called though. My bad for interrupting.
What was it?
Oh man, what was it called? It looked like some type of horror game.
Oh, you're talking about
Uh,
the medium.
yeah, that's it. That's it
Yeah,
right there.
I keep forgetting about that one. Yeah, that comes out the 28th of January.
Okay.
It's on sale for $44 on Steam right now. I'm looking forward to that
Okay.
one too. My top three most anticipated games for 2021 is Persona 5 Strikers, Resident Evil Village, which is my number one, and uh, Horizon Forbidden West. If I
Mm,
get a PlayStation 5 next year, I'll pick up Returnal and Ratchet and Clank, and that'll be it. Like
mm,
those will be the only two games I buy on that system next year, if I get it.
mm.
But yeah, and then some of the other ones I'm kind of curious about is Gotham Knights, which I don't think I'm gonna like at all. Um, Hogwarts Legacy, which that can go either way, and
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, which I'm not looking forward to because Halo 5 was a piece of shit. Um, yeah, uh, Halo 5 was just that was some other mess right there.
Mm.
I still can't believe they thought that releasing that was a good idea. Yeah, so oh, and then there's also Shadow Warrior 3. I keep forgetting about that one too.
Mm.
I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Um, but either way, like I said, I need at least 4 or 5 of those games to be like really good. Because if 2021 ends up being another 2018, 2019, or 2020, where like nearly every game that comes out is just a piece of shit and is just like mediocre, and there's maybe like 1 or 2 great games all year, yeah, I'm
Mm.
done. I'm done. I'm not gonna waste my time on video games, anymore at that point, because clearly, they're aimed at fucking retards who just love to just waste their money on dumb shit. So, like I said, I'm gonna wait and see how 2021 turns out because, like I said, man, there's with the 3 biggest games that came out this year all turned out to be like huge disappointments, which is Last of Us Part Two, uh, Square Enix's stupid ass Avengers game, and Cyberpunk 2077. There is no reason why any of these games should have failed. All 3 of those games should have been fucking fantastic. All 3 of
Yeah.
them turned out to be either just very messy or just straight up garbage.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with gaming right now. Like I'm about to be in the same boat as you. Like yeah, fuck this shit. Um, so yeah, 2021 better bring it, and not just from one company. Like let's say Resident Evil Village, it turns out to be great, but then all the rest of the games turn out to be bad. It's like nah, that's not gonna cut it.
Mm.
Um, like if Capcom brings it and releases a great product, but then everyone else is on some bullshit, I'm done. You know. So yeah, that's where I'm at with gaming right now. I'm on my last legs. I'm
Mm.
tired of the fucking mediocrity and shit. So and I can only imagine how much money you've saved since you quit the hobby.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It saved me a lot of money.
Hundreds of dollars, right?
Yes.
Hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. Video games are
Yeah.
not fucking cheap at all. It's not a cheap hobby. Um,
Hmm.
this is it. This is why it's important to fucking, you know, speak out against these companies when they do some bullshit. But once you start to see a pattern where, oh, this company's fucking up, that company's fucking up, you know, that's when it's like, what's the point of this? You know?
Mm. And with Cyberpunk, it's so disappointing. They created. I took a look at some of the videos of the world, like the city. I'm like, man, that beautiful city, and they just wasted it all. I'm like, wow, because it's like I can't even lie. It's like the best thing I've seen in a game. Like the city looks incredible.
Oh, you're talking about Night City?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just they falsely advertised it. They made it seem like it was going to be like big, expansive open world game, and you can go around and do whatever the fuck you want, and it's like, no, it's not that at all. The city is fucking dead. Nothing interesting ever happens in Night City. And the NPCs, the NPC design is lazy, dude. The NPCs do the same shit over and over again, and they never have anything interesting to say. And like, if you get in trouble with the police, the NPCs, they'll all crouch down in the same exact crouching animation, the take cover. None of them will actually try and flee away like from the area. And then they have like another weird thing that I noticed was they have all these ads in the game for like that are advertising sex. Like they'll have like this bulletin board and of this of naked women, and then what's weird is they throw in child NPCs, and they're just walking around, and I'm like, huh? Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, they fucked up big time, dude. Everyone wanted to play the game that was showed in the previews and the trailers and everything, and the game that they actually delivered doesn't match that, like, at all. So, like I said, man, 2021 better bring it with the gaming. Like, everything better be like on point, man. Like, I need it to be I need these games to be good when they come out. It's not just going to cut it anymore where, I play like 7 games a year, but then maybe only like 2 or 3 of them are good, or I play 10 games a year and only like 5 of them are good. It's like, no, that's not going to cut it anymore. Because you're just wasting your money at that point. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to continue to do it. Hopefully, next year we'll get another 2017. 2017 really was like the last great year of gaming. It really was. It wasn't a perfect year, but it was the last year where I felt like these companies were actually trying, So yeah, if 2021 isn't at least a good year, it doesn't have to be a great year, but if it's not at least a good year, then fuck it, I quit. So, yep, that's wraps up that discussion. Shit, part of me wants to quit now. Fuck it. Fuck this PS4. Shit, I'll go sell all this bullshit tomorrow if I, make some money, put that shit in my savings account, call it a day. But nah. Yeah. Anything else to add on this topic?
Yeah, the games right now. After seeing everything, it's really made me just realize, yeah, I made the right decision.
That's what I've been telling you. I was like, yeah, you really did make the right decision. I mean, don't get me wrong, you've missed some really good games, my dude. You really
I wish I got a chance to play Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Miles Morales, Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 7, like Persona 5. You missed some really good titles, but like 1 or 2 great games is just not. It's not worth all the extra shit,
Yeah.
So that's what people don't understand. It's like, well, there's still good games that come out. It's like, it doesn't matter when the majority is garbage. What are you gonna
exactly?
What are you gonna retain the most? So anyway, yeah, just talking about this shit is making me angry. So yeah, we're done with this recording. So fuck it.
They're coming. Who is?